If you feel behind on savings, this video is probably for you, not because you're failing, but because the benchmarks you're comparing yourself to don't tell the full story. And once you understand that, a lot of the stress around money starts to make sense. Maybe it was a friend's vacation photos on Instagram. Maybe a coworker casually mentioned their six-figure savings account. Or maybe you just had that quiet moment where you wondered, am I actually doing okay? Or am I messing this up? Because they're comparing themselves to those traditional savings benchmarks that make comparing difficult. You know, the ones that say 1 times your salary by 30, or 3 times by 40, or 6 times by 50. They sound clean, they sound responsible. However, for a lot of people, they're completely detached from reality. Those formulas don't know that you graduated with student loans. They don't know key events like how rent eats half your paycheck. They don't know you changed careers, got divorced, supported family, or had kids earlier than planned. So today, we're going to walk through how much savings you should have at each stage in life, as well as key savings habits that are signs you are financially ahead, and what to do if you are behind. Welcome back to Stickman Money, where I break down personal finance videos to help you build your rich life. And please do me a favor for my new channel by liking and subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. Your 20s, the foundation years. Let's start with your 20s. The benchmark says you need 1 full year of salary saved by 30. Here's the reality. If you have anything saved by 30, you're already ahead of a huge portion of people. Your 20s are chaotic by design. Low income, student loans, career confusion, moving cities, learning how money even works. So the real goal here isn't a number specifically, it's a habit. If you can save $50 a month consistently, that matters more than hitting some arbitrary target. There are 3 key behaviors that matter in your 20s. Building the habit of saving, eliminating or avoiding high interest debt altogether, and starting retirement accounts early, even if it feels pointless. Because compound interest doesn't care how small you start, it cares when you start. So, what is a realistic target by 30? It is to have an emergency fund started, some retirement savings, and initial momentum. If you're at $10,000 or $20,000 saved, you're not failing. You're building the foundations of your rich life. Click on the video above to see how you can save your first $10,000 from scratch. Your 30s, the acceleration decade. Your 30s are where things diverge. Some people are buying houses, some are paying daycare that costs more than rent, and some are finally earning real money for the first time. This decade isn't about perfection, it's about leverage. The biggest mistake people make in their 30s is letting lifestyle inflate every time income goes up. So, what's the smartest move, you ask? Every raise you get, save at least half of it for investing, while also portioning the remaining half of it to fund money. This is also when tax-advantaged accounts matter a lot. So don't forget to dedicate to your 401k, IRAs, and HSA, not because they're exciting, but because these are tax-advantaged accounts that let your money work harder without you doing more work. A realistic target here is not 3 times your salary. It's actually whether you are increasing your savings rate as your income grows. So if you're in your 30s, ask yourself if you're increasing your savings as you get your major income jumps. If yes, you're doing better than you think and you're ahead of the majority in this age range. Your 40s? The power years. Your 40s are when things get real. This is often your highest earning decade. And it's also the last window to correct course without extreme measures. At this stage, savings can't be optional, but rather, your savings have to be automatic. This is when you stop guessing and start calculating. You need to know how much you've saved, how much you need, and whether your current pace gets you there. If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's not bad news. That's clarity, because clarity gives you time to act. Your 50s and early 60s. The final push. This is where effort matters more than optimism. The good news is you're allowed to save more now. Catch-up contributions exist for a reason. The focus here is aggressive saving, complete debt elimination, and establishing a realistic retirement timing. Working a few extra years can do more for your retirement than chasing risky returns ever will. At this point, it's not about comparing yourself to benchmarks. It's about building the most stable future from where you are right now to where you want to go. What are the ballpark numbers as benchmarks? I want to remind everyone that it is not as helpful to focus on absolute savings numbers, rather than the actual phases and momentum itself. With that said, some ballpark numbers based on your salary are helpful to roughly get an idea of your progress. Using an annual salary of $100,000, someone in their 30s should have saved $100,000, or 1 times their annual salary. By age 40, that should be $300,000 in savings, or 3 times their annual salary. By age 50, that should be $600,000 in savings, or 6 times their annual salary. By age 60, that should be $800,000 in savings, or 8 times their annual salary. And by age 67, reasonably when someone is retired or about to retire, someone should have saved $1 million, or 10 times their annual salary. Certainly, these numbers would vary from individual to individual, especially where spending habits and the definition of a rich life differs, but hopefully these ballpark numbers help you know generally where you should be. So, what if you're behind? Don't be discouraged if it seems like you're behind. I bet there are more people that are behind than what you think. Most people feel behind, even when they're not. I've met people with $500,000 saved who are anxious because they're not millionaires yet, and I've met people with far less who are calm because they understand their plan. The real question isn't, do I match a chart of averages across an age range? But rather, the real question is, am I making progress toward the life I want? What actually works? If you want to move forward, do this. Figure out your real retirement number based on your lifestyle. Increase your savings rate gradually, even by 1% every year. Automate everything so willpower isn't involved. Stop obsessing over the past and focus on the gap forward. And stop comparing yourself to your peers on social media. Progress beats perfection every time. The bottom line: remember that savings benchmarks are guideposts, not report cards. Your value as a person isn't determined by whether you hit 3 times your salary by 40. What matters is intention, consistency, direction. If you're saving, adjusting, and paying attention, you're already ahead of the game. So, no, you're probably not behind. You're probably just human. And now that you understand the rules a little better, you can stop feeling bad about yourself when you see your peers going on glamorous vacations twice a year on Instagram, and start moving forward on your own terms towards building the rich life you want. And if you like this video, here are 2 other videos you might like on how you're doing based on annual income and net worth by age.